All righty, fellas. So the exact same thing happened yet again. We were trying to get a big mitten queued up. We were trying to get it so that we would be, pre-ready to go. Danny, put your camera on, and then you can join in. Getting it ready to go, and then of course, just like happened last time, we enter the Big Mitten 2, which is the $100 entry contest, and it immediately puts us into a draft. Thankfully, Danny got here just in time, so we're able to draft this one together. But we called it. Both me and Spicy were like, hey, should we enter into this, early just to make sure that we actually get it full before the
Yeah, I didn't expect you to be live at 11:29. I can't lie.
Yeah. Danny's not even wearing a shirt out here. So like this is how quick this started.
I'm like at 11:29. I should have a minute. I come in and this guy's already live.
Yeah, no, for sure. All righty. So we are picking here at the 105, the Big Mitten 2, unfortunately, couldn't have come out while we were in Buffalo. Would have been nice so that we were able to actually draft Big Mitten 2 teams there. Instead, we had to draft bigger mittens and gauntlets the whole time we were there. Spicy, I don't know. Just let me know in the chat, Spicy, how much time you exactly have. Okay, yeah, I can pull you to the front here. And I was thinking we could do like maybe 2 of these, a gauntlet, and then there's that 3-entry max $12. Is it $12, $15 contest as well?
I believe so. Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. I have to look at it really quick, but that one sounds interesting to get a bullet into just because it's like a little bit of a lower field size.
Yeah, for sure.
The Summit is the name of the contest. Okay. Hertz at 105.
Yeah. We'll take a nice little share.
Yeah. I think the challenging thing for both the Eagles and Bills is that if the Eagles and Bills are one of, if not both of the Super Bowl participants, they're going to be pretty easy to advance there because they were easy to stack. And, there's going to be a lot of dupe teams and stuff. So if we do end up going with like an Eagles Bills or an Eagles, really any other common team, I do want to get a little bit weird, maybe with some of the combinations that we're able to.
I really wanted Derrick Henry for it.
Yeah. Derrick Henry would have been really, really nice. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, like you got to go AJ Brown. You just kind of have to if he's there. But
yeah, maybe get us out of the way. This might be better. Actually, no, then we will block the team. Never mind. Okay.
Puka. I mean, you kind of got to go AJ Brown here and hope. See, the thing is James Cook is not going to fall.
I would be more down to take James Cook here and then hope that we push AJ. And worst case, we could take St. Brown.
That's what I was going to point out. Honestly, I'm cool with that because it's easier to get the pass catchers. This is going to be more unique. Let's see if AJ's not going to fall, but who knows?
Well, what is this? Is this guy motivated to take AJ? Like, who does he have right now?
No, people aren't necessarily motivated to take AJ. They're just motivated for sometimes us not to get him.
Yeah, I mean that guy just had Barkley and he passed on AJ. So I mean, the Allen team could definitely take him, take AJ for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, that guy, if AJ falls back, it's just going to take AJ, right?
Yeah, for sure. The challenging thing with Eagles Bills is that you can't really stack up the Eagles backdoor as well as the Bills. Like the Bills, there's all these like tertiary options that you can stack up with. Whereas, Philly, it's like if you don't have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, or Dallas Goedert, like realistically, where is the fantasy production going to come from? Like there was, I think in, 2 years ago in playoff best ball when the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, I think Quez Watkins ended up having like a good spike week randomly or something like that. But I think for the most part, you're kind of just hoping that you can secure some of these, go-to Philadelphia Eagles guys. Somehow Mahomes is still on the board here, which is interesting that the Kelsey team there didn't take him, but I guess he took Allen with his first pick. So that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that is pretty wild.
And then DVS just goes. That kind of sucks. I'd be down to do an Eagles Chiefs if we can get Worthy here. And then we're going to use Cook for the first 3 rounds, but then we'd have to get Kareem Hunt or Gainwell or something for the Super Bowl. I think playing that through Kareem Hunt and going with an Eagles Chiefs would make some sense here.
Yeah, makes sense. Mahomes goes here. Yeah, I mean, we could also just grab Shakir because we have James Cook.
I would rather grab Worthy first, and then if Shakir falls, we could go with him. To be honest, I think it's going to be hard. We could just go with Shakir. You're right.
Yeah.
Can we? Is the guy that's picking after us? Go with Shakir first.
Shakir.
Hopefully Worthy falls back to us. Hopefully this guy goes with like Henry and Kyron or something at the turn here, because he does have Henry and Andrews and Kyron. Yeah, okay, that's exactly what he did. Okay, perfect. Then we roll with Worthy here, then, and we got another way to play the AFC Championship, and we can maybe what I don't actually mind doing here, Danny, is like skinny stacking the Eagles. Where we like
grab like a Goddard or something.
Yeah, like Hurts, Goddard, Gainwell or something, and then we have more players on the Chiefs and Bills than we do on
because if we can get like a Pacheco or a Hunt, we have 2 Super Bowl paths.
Yeah. I'm like, usually, like, to be honest, I would be more down if it comes down to it to go with Goddard over Pacheco. I
agree, but I'm saying hopefully we can get both.
Yeah, for sure. Again, this one's a little bit more of a tightrope that you got to do, because if you miss out on Smith and AJ with Hurts, like we opted to go with Cook, but like I'm kind of glad we did, because if we didn't do that, I guess we could have gone with like a Chief stack still, but I think that one's going to also be quite common that people have.
Yeah, but in half PPR it makes more sense, because if you're the thing with AJ is, given the low volume of the offense, A, and B, not having a running back for the Super Bowl, whereas it's easier to get pass catchers. Plus, if we're making the bet on Hurts and on Cook, you're making the bet against Allen if they played in the Super Bowl. Maybe Cook just snipes 3 touchdowns inside the 10. And you're also making the bet that maybe Hurts scores a tush push, or Hurts scores like a 7-yard draw on the goal line. You know what I mean? Like, there's more paths for standalone value between those 2 players respectively, versus having to solely depend on the stack that is the Jalen Hurts AJ.
Yeah, and like it also wouldn't shock us if there was like a game in which the Eagles win. Let's say the Eagles and Bucks play each other in the second round, or even in the first round against Green Bay, where it is just Hurts that gets you there. Like he punches 3 touchdowns in or something, and AJ and Smith aren't like what you needed. That you don't need to have the stackable options there.
Yeah, for sure. So we are 2 picks away. Looks like Pacheco and Goddard are both available. Hopefully we can get stacked up on both.
Yeah, Pacheco and Goddard would be nice here. If one of them goes, I also don't mind. Okay, I was going to say I don't mind detouring for Evans one-off if we needed to, but
I was going to say Amari too.
Yeah. Do we want to go? Let's go Goddard first, just because I think we're more screwed if we don't get him.
Correct. Let's go Goddard first, because worst case scenario, we can take A, Kareem Hunt, and B, worst case scenario, for the next pick, we can grab a Amari Cooper.
Yeah. I think I tweeted it just like 10, 15 minutes ago. Like, maybe it's copium because I have 33% Amari Cooper. And
I don't have a lot.
Second highest in terms of my drafted players entry fee wise, because I have him on both of my bigger mittens along with Keon Coleman, who's my highest drafted player.
I didn't get any Bills. I'm so mad.
Is it me, or is Amari Cooper just going to be the skeleton key? Like, he's back with the team. We don't really have that worry. That's partially why he was falling. Yeah, we go with Pacheco here. And with Cooper, we know he's a spike week king. We've known this about him for the longest time. And what if the reason he wasn't playing a full allotment of snaps in the regular season for the Buffalo Bills, because they have all of these guys that they can kind of, interchange. And once they get to the playoffs, they're like, yeah, Amari Cooper is our best receiver, so he's going to play a lot more in the playoffs than he's going to play in the regular season. Like, when they got him, they were already leading their division by like 3 games.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels a little bit copium-y.
It is a little bit copium-y, but would it not shock us if revisionist history is like, man, we should have been hammering? Like, call me crazy here, but now that Cooper is back with the team, I think him and Shakir should have flipped ADPs.
I don't know. I also like Keon Coleman. Also do.
I like Coleman too. I definitely like Coleman. I just think Shakir is not a best ball guy. Like, I know we just drafted him, but like, he's not like, he's a half PPR good floor guy. He's not like a 30-point week guy like Cooper is.
Yeah, no fair. Also, I just realized I will be in Buffalo on Saturday night, so I can draft a couple more.
So did you end up getting tickets?
Yeah, last second, my cousin was over. He's like, we were just like talking, and we mentioned the football game. And I'm like, oh yeah, the Bills are playing a playoff game against the Broncos on Sunday. And he's like, oh, like, what are the tickets looking like? Found 171. Obviously, the fees on thing like add up.
Oh yeah.
But we got 2 tickets, 113 section, like 25 rows up for $242 American each. So I'm like, okay, bought
It's
it.
pretty good. Yeah, it's definitely pretty good. I'm gonna like if the Bucks and Lions face each other in the NFC Championship, I will be going to that game for sure as well. And Coleman just went.
Oh,
That kind
that
of
is
sucks.
brutal. We could go double chief running back.
Yeah, I'm cool
kind
going
of a
with Hunt
pick
here.
us.
If you want to go with a one-off, we could go with like a Hawkinson potentially too.
Or Hopkins.
Yeah, I like Hunt here to be honest.
Yeah, fuck it.
Looks like you're intently either frozen or staring. One of the two.
Definitely frozen.
Yeah. Okay. So we also got to be careful a little bit here because we probably should stop drafting Chiefs if we grab Hopkins here.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to grab Hopkins and then be done on Kansas City?
Yeah, we can do that. Also, what?
Okay. So we grab Hopkins. We're done on Kansas City. And then we're going to need to supplement some round one production a little bit because we're going to be missing 4 players in the first round. So between Goddard and Hurts, we should be good. You know, Cook and Shakir, we should be good. We need, I don't know. Do you think it's worth it to grab another Eagle or grab another Bill or grab another Chief? Or definitely not a Chief, but like another Eagle potentially. Or should we just play for 2 advance rate pieces?
Probably one more Bill, I would say. One more Bill pass catcher, maybe like a Dawson Knox or maybe like a Matt Collins, maybe somebody like that to tag up the end. Just because at this point, I mean, we have Philadelphia, or actually, sorry, correction. Yeah, probably an Eagle, because if we're looking at it, Philadelphia with 2 Eagles. We grab one more Eagles pass catcher, maybe like a Jahan Dotson, and you got 3 Eagles there. Then at that point, 2 Bills can supplement in the Super Bowl lineup with Cook and Shakir. And then we also have the 4 Kansas City teams. So I would say a Philadelphia player. If we could
honestly, my opinion on this is that we'd be way more in jeopardy of missing. I agree. We can't field the full Super Bowl. I think we should just play it for a Bills or for a Chiefs Eagles as opposed to trying to play 2 outs.
Fair. I don't know, because like we can't fill the full Super Bowl if it was Bills Eagles.
I know we can't. But I actually think it's suboptimal if we try to. Fair. Because I think we'll be in jeopardy of not advancing out of round 1.
Yeah, no, fair.
So I think playing it through like Jaden Reed or actually maybe
Quentin
somebody
Johnson's been one of my favorite one-offs. I've actually really liked Quentin Johnson as a one-off because I do think this week against the Texans we could see them air it out a little bit more. And Quentin Johnson, I mean, obviously, it wasn't consistent at all this year, but we have seen some evidence spike weeks. I mean, literally in week 18 as well, like 13 catches, 190 plus yards or something like that. So, who knows? Maybe it's a young player, builds momentum going into the playoffs. I just think as a last round pick, I think he gets sniped before us anyway.
Yeah, I agree with Spicy as well. I think we should probably go with an NFC player. No?
Yeah, go with the NFC player. I was just.
So, you want to go Brian Robinson then, maybe for a one-off?
Probably a wide receiver. No.
Okay. What about
Romeo Dubs? We have the bet against the right. We have the bet with the Eagles.
Yeah, I think Reed is a good pick, but like we have the Eagles, so I don't really want to have a dead player immediately. I think B-Rob is a good one. And then we could go with Ertz with the other one, maybe.
Okay. We do have 4 running backs, but that's fine.
Yeah. Also, your camera's not on, by the way. I don't know if you know that or not.
Mine?
Yeah, it's showing a blank screen for me.
You're joking, right?
Does anybody else see Danny right now? I don't. Yeah, Danny's a ghost. Holy crap,
bro!
Your camera on. Yeah, yeah. I thought you were just like waiting until the draft was figured out or whatever. Okay, Ertz went. Okay. You want to grab Pickens? That doesn't interfere with anything we have.
Yeah, sure. Here,
let's grab Pickens as a one-off on the off chance that he has a big game against the Eagles or the Ravens.
Here, check your Twitter DMs, bro. That's obviously like a screenshot of it, but my whole fucking camera is working on my end.
Okay, well, maybe just shut it off and turn it back on. I don't know what. For some reason, it's not working. Or go to settings and try switching things that it has for you there.
Just peep your Twitter DMs real quick because it shows me like both of us just fucking perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's weird. What the hell?
That's what I'm saying. All right, I'll refresh the tab. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, technical difficulties is a staple around here, but I think we landed the plane on this one. Again, ideally we don't have 4 running backs here, but we're going to be without 2 of them in the first round. So, I mean, not the worst thing in the world that we have B-Rob. Even if B-Rob gets bounced in round 1 against the Bucks, like he probably is going to be. Yeah. That game has the highest over/under of any playoff game so far. So we just want pieces from that.
I've been liking mixing in some Romeo Dubs too, because I feel like Jaden Reed's going to be the guy that a lot of people will be taking. But with Romeo Dubs, with no Christian Watson out there, obviously getting the full allotment of snaps at the X, not to mention, like, if the Eagles get up early in that game, we could see them potentially try to use their, big-bodied outside wide receiver in that instance, right? So,
yeah. Spicy, maybe try and do another big mitten too. See what the fill level is, and then worst case scenario, we can pivot over to the summit. I wouldn't mind trying to get one bullet into that, and then if that's not filling either, then we can pivot over to the gauntlet worst case scenario. But yeah, let's see if we can get into another big mitten too. I think we got a couple people in the chat here. Rylan said, "Let's go." Just made a dynasty move. When do the DDs start back up? We could definitely rip one next week. I have not checked the queue to see if we have any recent submissions, but if you want to submit a team there, Rylan, go nuts.
And for the record, too, I know we've gotten some comments on this. Typically, obviously, our apologies, like we can't frequently do our DDs. But when we do collect like new teams, when we do collect new submissions to add on a video, like people might be wondering, okay, if I submitted months ago, is it relevant? It really isn't. That's the only issue. It's like if you submitted in, let's just say, October, it's not really applicable information that we can use for a video if we're recording it in January. So usually the way we do that is we just see in the last month what the submissions are. So if you guys are concerned and maybe you submitted one months ago and you're like, okay, they haven't gotten to this team yet, just hit a resubmit every month, I would say. So that way, like if you could update some stuff, maybe, the season ended and you finished second and the original submission said, hey, I'm in the midst of a playoff hunt. Like that's critical information that we would need in order to proceed with the DD.
Yeah, I think there's a couple like arbitrary common sense cutoffs. Like if you submitted one in July and it's now week 10, your information is no longer really relevant anymore. It's like beginning of the season, end of the season, before your rookie draft, after your rookie draft. There's kind of like arbitrary cutoffs where like the information, the advice is going to change quite a bit. Maybe it's still relevant to you, but we're also trying to make sure that it's still informative information for everybody watching as well. Okay. So this was the big
I would think general rule of thumb is about like every month, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes no, though. Like, I think there's still teams that if you submitted them like mid-September would still have relevant stuff there, early November. It's still the regular season that you're talking about, and same with like if somebody submits a team in January versus in March, like it's still pretty relevant there. So
depends on the timings, right? That's
fair. It's the arbitrary cutoff of like beginning of the season, end of the season, before rookie drafts, after rookie drafts, that kind of thing. Spicy, you could probably leave this one and maybe try putting it into the summit instead and see if that one will fill up a little bit faster for us. Just because I don't want to just be sitting here waiting for the draft to fill. And then worst case, like I said, we'll go to the gauntlet.
Also, AJ, I mean, I'll give you credit. You did hit on Geno Smith. I will say you did hit it on Geno Smith.
Yeah, and he's referring to the talent level of Penix in that.
No, I mean, again, I don't think that's a bad thing though. You guys know I like Geno. I think he's like a fringe top 15-ish level quarterback in the league. I do feel like we gotta hit the brakes a little bit on people that are like so Penix pilled though. People are like, oh my god, like Penix is a fucking top 25 starter pick. It's like, why? He doesn't run. He's shown in the NFL, yes, he can throw and he can make big plays down the field, but the way I describe Penix at this point, again, like he could very well, get into the offseason, feel more comfortable with the weapons. Also, obviously, it was his first month starting at the end of the year, but he was either making big time throws down the field or he was completely missing people on wide open throws. And that was an issue that we saw in his tape at Washington. We've pointed that out specifically when we were going through his film study. Hey, you know what? He can make some throws, put it in the fucking keyhole, absolutely perfect accuracy. And then there's other fucking layup throws. He adds a little bit of touch here, or he throws with instead of just throwing a complete fastball, knowing when to tempo your throws is sometimes I noticed that he didn't really use in his college film. So,
Allen.
Easily Allen. So with Penix, again, like I like him. I think, again, I like Geno Smith. But I also understand that people that are like, oh, yeah, he should be valued above. Like I've seen people say, oh, Penix should be above Caleb. He's looked better when he was been on the field. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no. And no. I mean, I think this is a good example of it. So I was filling out the trade value chart, kind of like what I do is when we put the trade values in, I go and look at keep trade cut and see how does keep trade cut value these players, because I think keep trade cut is more indicative of like your league's market because it's very reactive and that kind of thing. And Tua is 5 spots lower than Michael Penix at quarterback. Like, that like Tua is Michael Penix's ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like his ceiling as a player is Tua Tagovailoa. So why the hell is Tua valued lower. Like they're also not even that far apart in age too.
Yeah. Like it's pretty wild to me. Again, like I want to give the kid credit. Like obviously just if you have Falcons offense pieces overall, Penix being in the offense is huge news. Like I actually mentioned it to you, Corey, but like where is Drake London now? Because we did the redraft video that we did going into week 18, and Drake London found his way in the early third. And obviously we saw another week with them developing that chemistry, another 13 target game. Obviously Drake London goes out there, 10 catches, 190 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. At what point is too early to draft them in drafts this year? Because I think he's probably vaulted closer to like a mid-second at this point. Like I think him versus like AJ Brown is a real conversation.
Are you talking about redraft or dynasty?
Redraft specifically, but dynasty, I think top 25 level asset is pretty confirmed. I would say.
I think that you can definitely make the argument that Drake London is a lot closer to like Nico and Puka than he is to whoever's below him, Lad McConkey, Garrett Wilson.
Agreed.
JSN, whoever else down there. I think you can make the argument he's closer to Nico and Puka.
Yeah, like Arthur said, dynasty wide receiver what? He's currently my wide receiver 9. And
that's where I have him as well.
If I look at my overalls, I want to say he's a back end second round startup pick for me.
Yeah, and ideally we get James Cook with one of these picks. We'll have to make a decision on what we want to do. Okay, I'm actually glad Jefferson went because I have a lot of Vikings Bills stacked up. So let's go with Cook. And do you want to go
JMO?
You want to do JMO instead of Smith?
I believe in the Lions a little bit more than I believe in the Eagles. Plus, I also think Jameson Williams from a spike week potential. Again, like Smitty's a more consistent wide receiver, but in order to get through, you need guys that can have the Gabe Davis game. And there's not many receivers in the NFL I think can have the Gabe Davis game outside of a guy like Jameson Williams.
It is weird with JMO that like he feels overvalued just because like at one point he wasn't that good, but like based on what he's actually producing now, like there realistically isn't much of a difference from like a production standpoint between him and Smith. Like Smith is a way better real life receiver, but the production and the spike week potential you get between Devontae Smith in a more run heavy offense versus Jameson Williams in an offense that he has opportunities to catch bombs. Plus on the NFC side of things, some of the matchups that you're going to get to see with Detroit in the second round, probably playing against Los Angeles or Minnesota versus the Philadelphia Eagles, playing against Green Bay in the first round. It's probably not going to be as high scoring of a game as like a Minnesota Detroit second round game would be. I guess Philly would get Tampa Bay presumably in the second round, which would be really high scoring though.
And honestly, it's just my thoughts and my confidence on the Lions that they were like the young team without experience last year. They made it to the NFC Championship, probably should have won that game.
Definitely I just feel like should have won that game.
I just feel like this year honestly feels like their redemption year where they go to the Super Bowl and lose to the Bills, to be honest. That's my thoughts on that. I picked Bills Lions literally how long? Like I've been saying that as the Super Bowl.
It's the people's Super Bowl. Everybody who's not a fan of a team, like if you're like Danny and you're a fan of a team that didn't make the playoffs, the people's Super Bowl is let's get the fucking Bills or the Lions a championship. It's about time. Like the Bills lost 4 in a row in the 90s and the Lions have never made the Super Bowl. Like nobody wants to see Kansas City against Philadelphia, realistically. No. Like unless you're an Eagles or a Chiefs fan, you don't want to see that because we've already seen it, first of all. And second of all, we want to see new shit and some teams get some titles here. Yeah, Shakir's got to be one of these, I think.
Shakir for sure. Hear me off. Okay,
hear me off.
Yeah, hear me off. Wow. So Shakir's going to be one of them. Are we looking for a one-off? Because I was going to say Bateman with no Flowers playing this week, but then I also realized that the Bills played the Ravens in the second week, so that's probably not ideal.
It's not ideal, but I don't think it's a terrible idea to just secure 2 good spike weeks out of Bateman.
I like Ladd.
Yeah.
I like Ladd because that would
kind of prefer Goddard of these options because Goddard can go 3 rounds against Philly because they wouldn't play until the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I mean, the projection for the first 2 games is going to be way better for like McConkey or Bateman, but I'm down for either. I'll let you make the final call.
I kind of like Ladd here.
Okay, we'll go with McConkey then.
Kind of like Ladd because it also backdoors a J.K. Dobbins, and we could potentially set up a Buffalo versus LA Chargers AFC Championship, which I've talked to you a lot, man. Like I think that's a really underrated possible AFC Championship.
Well, all the Chargers have to do is beat the Texans, who stink,
and upset the Chiefs
at their own game because the Chargers and Chiefs play the exact same way, which is the game's coming down to a last-second field goal, no matter who they're playing against, unless it's like the Patriots or whatever. They stomped the Patriots before. the playoffs begun. But to me, I just look at Chargers, Chiefs. Chiefs are going to have a huge home field advantage in that game, but like realistically, the Chargers brought them to the wire last time, and like spicy details here, it's difficult to sweep a team 3 times. Like beat the same team 3 times when they kind of know what you're doing. You know exactly what's going on. Like I saw this the year that Tampa won the Super Bowl in 2002. We got swept, or we got smoked by the Eagles in the regular season, and then in the playoffs they came back and beat the crap out of them.
2020, if you remember.
Yeah, New Orleans too. Both times we won the Super Bowl. New Orleans swept us in the regular season. Actually beat the brakes off of us in both games, and we beat them in the divisional round.
And I remember specifically in that stretch. We were making our playoff predictions that year, and I believe you had them losing, Tampa Bay losing to the Packers in the NFC Championship. And I said, "How the hell are you guys going to beat the Saints? Like you guys already lost 2 times this year."
I said we're going to lose to New Orleans, is what I said.
No. You ended up changing by the end of the week though, and you said, "You know what, man? Like I know we got swept by them, but like I have a feeling that we're going to be able to reverse it this week." I remember you saying that, and I was thinking in my head, I'm like, I think that's a little copium. You know, you get swept by, and then sure enough, you guys go out there in the divisional round and fucking put fucking foot to pedal. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was belt to ass that game for sure. And what I should have thought was that game was going to be so invigorating that we weren't going to lose the rest of the year is what I should have thought. Yeah. It's like, because I saw this with football and basketball are completely different sports, but I saw this with the Raptors too, is that once we beat the Sixers in that
Monty
game.
Dobbins.
Okay, we're on the clock here.
Monty Dobbins.
I don't love grabbing Montgomery, man. I think Cooper is a way better pick here.
Okay. The reason why I said Montgomery is we could field the Lions versus Bills Super Bowl, but we could try to push it if you want.
I think I would rather try and push it. I would rather take Tim Patrick way later than take fucking Montgomery here.
You go for it. Go Murray and then Dobbins then.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't draft a lot of Montgomery, so if you want to draft him, that's cool. Like we can draft him instead of Dobbins here and maybe try and push Dobbins, or because we have McConkey, maybe somebody's be willing to bypass him. But I'd rather push Montgomery given that he's the injured one.
Yeah, I mean, we could try to push it. The only issue is if somebody has Jared Goff, they might take Montgomery. But I mean, he's already
people are scared off of Montgomery for sure.
Go Dobbins.
Yeah, we'll go JK.
This is probably a 2 or 3 running back build, depending if Montgomery falls back.
Yeah, and also for what it's worth, just last thing on AJ's thing, he's like, why is Dak higher than like Penix and Lawrence? Because we usually value value accumulation and stuff.
Usually
for starters, it's because Penix and Lawrence don't have, like, Lawrence once was like a top 6 startup pick. So I still believe he has a decent amount of value accumulation because he runs a lot more than Penix does. But Dak it's a territory of quarterback where I'm starting to get more concerned with the immediate short-term projection than I am with value accumulation. That's actually something I've learned over the past couple of years, is that like the top half of the NFL or the top 15 quarterbacks in the NFL are the top 15 quarterbacks in the NFL. And who can give you the best production on their immediate projection is more so what I think we should be doing with the middle class of quarterbacks, unless they're rookies, like unless they're JJ McCarthy or something like that. And Penix goes into that as well. But like Penix realistically goes out, has a 4,000, 26 touchdown season next year. He's probably not valued much higher than like quarterback 10 to 12 realistically. It's not like he would go up like to QB 6 or something.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he's young, of course, but also like it's not like Dak's ancient. He is 31. He is still tethered to a 4-year, $60 million per year deal. And we saw the worst of the Cowboys situation this year. Even if they don't add pieces to begin with, their offensive line is going to continually get better because it was pretty inexperienced.
Okay, we're on the clock here. You want to go?
Do we?
I mean, we could detour on a McMillan if we wanted to.
QJ. I mean, we do have Chargers. We don't want to overinvest. That would be just an AFC Championship. You're right.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we grabbed Montgomery now.
I'd be cool going with McMillan, to be honest, right here. Just grabbing a one-off McMillan, because it's not going to interfere with anything else that we have going. Like the Lions and Bucks wouldn't play each other until the NFC Championship. So
yeah, no, that's fair.
And then I'm honestly fine just going Patrick here too with our other pick.
Yeah, because it's only only the 9th.
Also, don't you have enough QJ? That would be my thought. I'm like, dude,
I was just saying it because we had Chargers.
The amount of QJ that you have.
I was just saying it because we had Chargers. But going back to the Cowboys point, like, even if they didn't add weapons, their offensive line was extremely inexperienced this year. We're talking about a 3rd-year Tyler Smith, who is our clear best offensive lineman at this point in the careers. Brock Hoffman ended up being a first-year starter after Zach Martin got hurt. Cooper Beebe was a rookie center. Tyler Guyton was a rookie left tackle. Terrence Steele, again, I think we could potentially move on from him this offseason, but didn't play his best football. Like our offensive line, like people think about the Cowboys as having the strong offensive line. Our offensive line at the beginning of the year was really struggling, and we saw it with how the offense looked, eating untimely sacks, receivers not getting quick separation, therefore Dak having to hold on to the ball. And we did see down the stretch, as a young offensive line would, if you're going to start bad early, you give those guys some more experience. By the end of the year, I mean, Rico Dowdle was running behind some fucking great lanes. Cooper Rush had time in the pocket when he wasn't playing a Philadelphia Eagles defensive line. Like, the Cowboys were actually watchable, which I was scared wouldn't be the case when Dak went down. And I mean, we saw it on the Sunday night game, right? Like, they were actually like a functional football team, which who would have expected that?
Yeah. I mean,
especially with how the start of the year went.
The simple answer is that just for the next 3 years, like, is Penix even getting close to outproducing Dak?
No,
he's not. And it's not like Penix is a 21-year-old high upside rushing quarterback. It's like his ceiling also is a Dak Prescott level passer. That's his absolute ceiling. Like,
absolute ceiling.
So if he turns into Dak 2.0 at 6 years younger, then yes, he's going to be worth more than Dak. But I actually don't think that's likely to happen. So that's why we're like, he's probably somewhere on the Geno Smith to a Tagovailoa trajectory.
Like, if Dak stays healthy next year, he's throwing 35 plus passing touchdowns. If Michael Penix were to throw even 30 passing touchdowns next year, we'd be talking about him as a potential most improved player in the league.
Okay. So we got one more selection here. Do we want to go off the board Lion? You know what I actually don't hate doing either? I don't hate ping-ponging like Ray Davis here and seeing if we can ping-pong.
James do we have another pick? Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with Khalif Raymond or like a Ray Davis or
Ty Johnson.
Ty's gone, I think.
Oh, Ty went.
But
okay.
I'm cool with any of those guys. Let's go with Ray Davis. I haven't done that like permutation yet of the Bills stack. I've done a million Bills stacks, so I'm kind of used to knowing what I have already. Yeah,
I mean, like, realistically, I think we got the best Bills that we could have. So that was a dub. That's a good team. It would be Big Mitten too, right? Oh no, that was a Summit.
That was a Summit, yeah. So maybe double check again, Spicy, after you name this team, if we can do another Big Mitten 2, see how the lobby looks. And if it's 3 people or less, then we'll probably do a gauntlet or maybe another Summit.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a 3-entry max contest. I wouldn't mind even just like, you know what I mean?
Getting a couple rips in.
Yeah, getting a couple rips into it. It's a 3-entry max. So let's see if the Big Mitten 2, we can fill it out. And if any of you guys want to join this, of course you can by going to the lobby and just going to the Big Mitten 2. Jake has an interesting Dynasty question here. He says, Superflex start 9. Would you buy Brian Thomas Jr. for 104 and Xavier Worthy plus, or 104 plus for Puka or Nico? So I view Brian Thomas Jr. as comparable, maybe slightly ahead of Puka and Nico, but I would rather pay 104 plus than 104 and Worthy plus for the other guys, if that makes any sense. Like, I know Danny is a little bit even higher than I am on Brian Thomas Jr., but I think we can both agree that there's not a huge difference between Puka and Brian Thomas Jr.
The difference is 104 plus versus 104 and Worthy plus. Like, you won't find people higher on BTJ than me, but this is the difference between 11th overall in my rankings versus 13th and 14th. So it's like, if there's the difference between having to add Worthy and not having to add Worthy, go after Puka and Nico, because that's pretty wild to me, because I'm high on BTJ, but I didn't think that would be a common sentiment for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think personally, AJ, this is Falcons fan copium to me. I don't think there's any world in which Penix becomes as good as those guys.
There's no reason he couldn't be Herbert, CJ. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, Stroud was a significantly better prospect with a way better rookie season. Herbert and Burrow are way more athletic and have way better arms.
Respectfully, Michael Penix ain't that accurate. He ain't that type of accurate.
I'll bet $20 that he outscores Dak. I will take you on that. I know Danny would take you on that, but I will take you on that.
I will take you on that. I mean, if you want to bump it up to 200, I'll do it.
That.
Hey, if you want to bump that up to 200, I'll take it. The fuck?
Yeah, dude. I like Penix, man. If you spent the 204 of your rookie draft on Michael Penix, you are very happy right now.
I have 2 shares in Dynasty of him.
You got a great value on him. But to say, like, he is probably capped as like QB 9 to 10 in Dynasty, it is absolute nuts.
He actually ran a 4.4, but it doesn't matter how fast you run. It matters what your rushing tendencies are. He's an in the pocket quarterback.
Yeah,
Straight
just
up.
like
I mean,
Stroud. Like I think Stroud is more athletic than he
yeah.
lets on too, but he doesn't run.
I mean, dude, look at what Dak's become. Again, you can argue that because of the injuries, he's not as athletic as he used to be. Yeah, I'll give you that. But when we have seen Dak run the football, like especially last year when he was second in MVP, like that Chargers game, he ran for 60 yards and a touchdown. He had a 20-yard rushing touchdown. A lot of the times, like these quarterbacks are athletic enough to pick up yards with their legs, but they're taught to go through their progressions in the pocket. And if they're more comfortable playing within the pocket, like a Penix has shown every stop of his career so far, Indiana, Washington, and now in Atlanta, I don't know. I don't know.
No, I'm on the same page with Penix. It's like I think he's a great hit from where you drafted him, but I would not go too crazy with where I would value him now. I think we gotta go Barkley, right?
I was gonna say you want to try to go Henry and get Jared Goff on the way back.
We could, but the only problem is we're not going to get St. Brown or JMO then.
Right. Okay. I mean, we could go Henry and then Amonra, but I'll let you make the pick.
I'd rather go Barkley and then try and play it again. I know
Mahomes.
Eagles Chiefs is something that we kind of already just did, but I think it's a better bet than Ravens. Yeah. I don't think the Ravens.
Honestly, I just think it's unlikely that this guy lets Mahomes go here. To be honest, it's kind of where I'm at. I mean, who knows? Maybe he does.
Yeah. Damn. Okay, I don't know why he went Henry and fucking. Let's go Brown here. Let's go Brown, and then maybe we'll have to build something out in the AFC that's a little wonky.
You know what we're building out, right?
Yeah,
we're building out a Chargers versus Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah, and failing that, we'll get really crazy and build out a Texans.
Respectfully, Penix ain't fucking Josh Allen.
Hey, don't forget this is the big mitten.
I know.
AJ, I love you, brother, but this is straight Falcons copium.
Yeah, Henry Mahomes is like, why the hell did that guy just do that? That's a red badge. Come on now, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's not adding more to his game. It's what the quarterback feels comfortable with, tendencies that the quarterback has. Some quarterbacks specifically just like running more than other quarterbacks do. Other quarterbacks like a Dak, like a Stafford, go through their progressions, will get to their second, their third, their fourth read in the offense. Whereas a guy like Baker Mayfield, he might go through his first couple of reads and then get mobile. Like there's different tendencies for different quarterbacks. And Michael Penix, again, like he's got the athletic capabilities. He ran in the 4.4s. Like I'll give him credit. Like he can run, but who ever thought that he would be a 4.4 runner based off his rushing tendencies at Washington? Who seriously did?
Nobody. I thought he was going to run like 4.8.
Yeah. AJ throwing out. Yeah.
What's up? Yeah. Anyways.
In terms of making content, I would say best thing first and foremost, if you can spend on one thing from a production standpoint, audio over visual 100%. We've actually gone back and forth on that. Audio is clear of visual.
I have not gone back and forth. We've gone in unison on that. Audio is way more important.
No. Sorry. We've gone back and forth on talking about it like behind the scenes, not necessarily like disagreeing with it. My apologies, but we've talked about it before, and 100% audio over visual. And I would say the best thing is when you start off, man, like you're not going to be good at it. If you guys want to watch some of our old videos and you'll go through that and think, are these the same Danny and Bush? Like
we sucked, and we thought we were good too. We thought we were good. You're going to think you're good at this now already too. And you're unfortunately you're not. And even 2 years ago, like I thought I was great at this, and we thought we were great at this, but like you make marginal improvements with every 100%. Upload that you have. But anyways, we're back on the clock here. Do we want to?
I mean, we have to backdoor Chargers here. It's pretty much
we do, but do you want to grab maybe like Andrews to see if we could do like a Chargers Ravens AFC Championship? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, let's try and do that maybe.
That's the only issue with Barkley is if you don't get Mahomes, you just have to punt quarterback.
Yeah, you do. You do definitely have to do that. But my advice, honestly, for people looking to create content is first, he didn't specify it was fantasy content. Maybe he's just looking to create content in general. Whatever you make content on, make sure you absolutely love to do it. Like if you won the lottery 100%. Tomorrow and you wouldn't do it for free, then you're not going to probably make it as a content creator realistically. Agreed. Like me and Danny would do this for free. Like it's our full-time living.
We did do it for free.
We did do it for free for a long time. So you have to be really passionate about it. And honestly, just give yourself permission to get better as you go along. Don't think that you're going to be perfect right away would be another piece of advice that I'd go for. So we probably have to grab McConkey here, don't we?
For sure.
Yeah. Grab McConkey there. Again, this is probably a suboptimal looking team for the Big Mitten, but you know what? We get 2 games out of Los Angeles, even if they don't make the Super Bowl. Like min cashing in this contest or getting to the 3rd round in this contest is a lot better than doing it in the gauntlet, for example. For sure.
Yeah, I just think specifically you guys aren't putting any value on his ceiling opposed to how you do with like JJ. First and foremost, I think JJ just got a demonstrably higher ceiling, A, because he's a younger player, B, because what we saw from both these guys respectively at college. We both had JJ McCarthy as quarterback 4 or 5 in the class, Penix a little bit after. JJ McCarthy in terms of being able to operate out of structure, JJ McCarthy in terms of being able to operate third and long situations. He's just the ceiling bet. Again, you can make the case that Penix is a safer bet because we've seen him play in the NFL versus JJ obviously dealing with the meniscus. We don't know if Darnold's going to be back.
I would not argue I wouldn't argue Penix.
If you wanted to rank
like,
Penix
I have
over
McCarthy
JJ.
and Penix one back to back. I'm 21-22. Like they are back to back.
I don't think it's outrageous, but I also want to point out, like, if you're betting on more of a floor play, it would be Penix, in my opinion. I think JJ is absolutely the ceiling play. And you're saying JJ did nothing in college in comparison to Penix. We're not doing that, brother.
Yeah, he gets zero credit for what he did in college. What he did in college doesn't really matter.
Respectfully, Justin Herbert was throwing less than 25 times per game before the Chargers bye week. And we were talking about Jim Harbaugh managing the game at Michigan. Again, just because he wasn't throwing the ball 35, 40 times like Penix was in college, doesn't mean that when Michigan needed to make a throw down the field on third and long, stakes on the line, having to beat Alabama to go to the college football playoff, college football national championship, JJ McCarthy delivered. Now, again, I'm not saying that Penix wasn't a better college player based off the production, but it's really unfair to say, oh, he did nothing in comparison. Look at the confines of the offense, man. Also, look at who the hell Penix was throwing to versus freaking JJ McCarthy. I mean, respectfully, I love Colson Loveland. I think he's a top 2 tight end in this class, but that was his best weapon versus we're talking Roma Dunze, Jalen McMillan, and Jalen Polk. And I know Jalen Polk hasn't been good in the pros. He was really damn good at Washington. Let's not cut that. So yeah, again, this isn't anti-Penix because I really do think he's established himself as a mid-range teens quarterback in Dynasty. But I just feel like you're very much Falcons copying your way to saying he should be like a top 10 guy. That's what it sounds like. Sorry, a little rant. J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, we'll go with Dobbins here. I don't even have him in the teens. I have him at 22. Like I view him in the tier of like all the way up to like Bo Nix, who I have at 13. I think you can make the argument for Penix that high, but yeah, given what I know about a lot of the quarterbacks in that range, like your Tuas, your Trevor Lawrences, like the guys that are solidified, have big contracts, have maybe not as good of weapons as Penix or maybe comparable weapons as Penix, but I know they've been they're going to be starters for a long time. And it's not that I don't think Penix will be a starter for a long time. I think he's probably going to be. It's just that his deficiencies showed up in the NFL that I had concern for him on film in college. Like, I think everybody was just assuming that there was 2 outcomes for the Atlanta Falcons. Either Kirk Cousins was going to be their quarterback for the next 2 to 3 years, or Michael Penix was going to be the guy. It's like, well, there's actually 3 outcomes. Like, it could be possible that they whiffed on both.
Yeah, for sure. Also,
and I'm not saying that they're going to whiff on both. I'm just saying that like people have like, because of the Cousins addition, like they've given this bump to Penix. Like Cousins wasn't playing at like a super brutal level by comparison. Yeah. And Penix played the fucking Panthers and Giants 2 of the 3 games that he played.
And Washington.
Like it's not like he was going up against the best of the best defenses either. Like, again, optimistic. QB 22 in my rankings, but I see he's QB 14 on Keep Trade Cut. That was way too high for me. Yeah,
like respectfully, AJ, you can think 22 is crazy until you actually see the 21 quarterbacks that are in that range. Again, you want to argue Penix over some of these guys, be my guest. Bryce Young, Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, Jared
I would take
Goff.
Bryce Young in a heartbeat over Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, and
he's a better quarterback.
Bryce up a little bit. JJ McCarthy, again, you can argue if you prefer Penix to McCarthy because he's shown in the NFL. I think the ceiling for McCarthy is a lot higher, like I've pointed out multiple times. So again, personal preference, whatever. Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott. And then you're saying a lot of, why is Bo Nix up here, but Penix isn't? Bo Nix was just a quarterback 7 in fantasy.
With no weapons.
He was just a quarterback 7 in fantasy.
Yeah. He's proven significantly more, and he runs a lot more tendency-wise than Penix does.
I'm easily taking Penix over Tua. I mean, again, like
I wouldn't totally argue
Penix
against
one spot higher
than
Tua.
My argument is that Tua has a big contract, a better play caller, and he's already a better quarterback. Like, how many times over the course of the last 3 seasons have we seen Tua all the way at the top of the league in EPA and passing adjusted completion percentage and time to throw and stuff? Like, he's a good quarterback. Like, he gets a lot of shit, but he's a good quarterback. So we want to go
Herbert.
Do we want to go Herbert this early or try and push him?
We'll get another one off then. Screw it.
Do you want to go
McMillan?
Keon Coleman one off maybe?
Or McMillan?
Yeah, McMillan. Yeah, McMillan would be less danger. I mean, either way, the second round Keon Coleman's going to play our Baltimore, but I like McMillan. Yeah. He's a better projection.
I mean, we have Chargers. We don't have Baltimore.
We do have Baltimore. We have Mark Andrews.
Yeah, but like we're not actually relying on him.
No. But like I'm saying, Coleman versus Andrews would have happened in the second round.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we can go Herbert with this next pick.
Herbert
Hopefully
here.
this guy doesn't like snipe us for some reason because he's been doing dumb shit all day.
I don't disagree, by the way, AJ. I just think you're overvaluing Penix. Again, I think he's solid. I think you can argue him in the later portion of the teens because I do think it's a relatively fluid tier, but I mean, we got to pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
You're saying where would he rank if he had 4K, 30 touchdowns and 12 picks? Hey, if he goes out
what
there,
did the other 9 quarterbacks in that tier do? Would be my question.
Yeah,
because all of them could have that stat line.
Like Dak could throw fucking 40 touchdowns next year. Baker Mayfield literally just threw what, 39 this year? 40 touchdowns this year. Like we're not putting them behind fucking slumps, dude. We're putting them behind guys that legitimately have 40 plus passing touchdown upside.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And again, could Penix do it? Sure. And if he does do it, I think you can argue him being a top 12 to 15 dynasty quarterback, but it's also a big projection based off what we saw from the sample size, in my opinion.
Yeah. Anyways, we can drop the Penix discussion here. His future of his value feels disrespected. I don't totally disagree with you, but I think that this tier of quarterback is more production based than I want it to be. Like we used to just be like, oh, it's all future value, and I want it to be more production based because I think that's the correct way of going about it. Because when you're in a startup, these are QB2s for your team.
Yeah,
they're not QB1s for your team. So I would rather, if I drafted Drake May in the first round, go with Penix because then I'm on a rebuilding team. Also, part of this too is like, rebuilder team or young team, go with Penix, go with McCarthy over some of those older quarterbacks like Prescott or whatever. But competitive team, I'm going Tua, I'm going Lawrence, I'm going Dak, I'm going Purdy, I'm going Mayfield, I'm going some of those guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, we probably need this guy just a QJ one spot ahead of us, so that's fun.
Cooper Kupp feels like a screaming value here now.
Yeah, I feel like Kupp just might be a nice little one-off that we could take here. He doesn't really interfere with anything either.
No, he doesn't.
Like we don't have any Vikings. We could grab another Charger with our last pick.
Yeah, agreed.
I think Palmer makes sense.
Yeah. Obviously like we would need like Hurts maybe, but outside of Hurts, like we have a pretty nutted out Chargers.
Yeah. Do we want to grab another Charger or another Eagle? Charger, probably, right?
Charger, right? Yeah.
Do you want to go Palmer or you want to go Disley?
Kind of like Disley here.
Yeah. The only thing is like
we could make the Palmer bet because I have a bunch of QJ in my portfolio.
Yeah, let's go Palmer. Because I think with Hurst coming back, I think that's thrown a wrench into the tight end core in Los Angeles.
Drake May needs to go somewhere else. I don't necessarily agree because it sounds like Ben Johnson's seriously considering the job. He's already gotten some head coaching. Definitely considering it.
What the fuck is this guy's team? This guy says he's got Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels. I mean, how many? So
he's having fun.
I think this is a fine team. He's trying to build out a nutted Chiefs and Lions. That's what he's trying to do because they both have buys, right? So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Chiefs and Lions, and then he's trying to just build out a nutted round 1 to get this through with Jaden Daniels, Josh Jacobs, those type of guys. That actually makes sense to me the way he built it out.
Agreed.
Disgusting. Yeah. When this draft, Spicy said he's got time for one more here. Try a big mitten again. If it's not filling right away, we'll go back to a summit / gauntlet as well.
Yeah. I got one more in me.
Yeah. But I mean, the quarterback discussion is fascinating for sure in Dynasty. My opinion is this. Anybody from like Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield, maybe not Bo Nix because he's still, he could still accumulate value, but Baker Mayfield at 14, all the way down to, let's say, Penix at 22, where I have him ranked. Throw him in a hat. What do you need? What's your team look like? What are you trying to accomplish? That would be my piece of advice on that. It's kind of pointless to even argue these guys, in my opinion.
For sure.
So Spicy's saying if we did another big mitten too, it would take away from our pick of money for the playoffs. Let's roll with a summit then.
Yeah.
If you want to do that. So only a $15 draft. Plus it's a 3 entry max contest. So I'm kind of interested to get some bullets into it. Let's go summit over gauntlet. We've done tons of gauntlets already.
Yeah, fuck it.
Hopefully this one fills quickly. Oh, looks like it filled. Waiting for 2 people. Okay. Oh, that's big. 1 person. Okay, we should be able to get this filled here. Yeah, Drake, what do you think? I've seen a lot of, there's like a million people arguing this on Twitter. Best coaching spot that's available right now. Is it Patriots?
Not even close.
Yeah? Over Chicago, over Jacksonville. Like, if Balky was gone, would you have a different opinion?
No.
No?
The reason why is this has been actually reported. Apparently there were head coaching candidates that viewed Drake May as being a top 5 quarterback, at least within the next 3 or 4 years, is what the report was. And I completely agree on that. Again, you guys know my thoughts on Drake May. I think he is on the road to superstardom. I think by this time, 2026, he will be in everybody's top 5 quarterback list, period. And when you're dealing with a quarterback that has that level of talent, that level of upside, when you're dealing with a situation with New England where you also have a cornerstone defensive piece like Christian Gonzalez, you have a top 4 overall pick this year. You have the most cap space in the NFL. It's going to be very easy to supplement this roster. And to begin with, I mean, it's not like you need the supporting talent of some other quarterbacks in the league. And if you're a Ben Johnson and you're getting your hands on a guy like Drake May and you're drafting maybe a Ted McMillan type, or you're signing a big time free agent wide receiver, that offense can be good sooner rather than later.
I don't disagree with you. I just think that Jacksonville has a lot better of a roster than New England.
I don't disagree, but that's the difference.
Rushers. You got Devin Lloyd. You got a left.
That's the difference I'm viewing T-Law and Drake May.
You got a couple great weapons on offense, 2 good running backs. I think in theory, if you can build it right and hit on your picks and hit on your players and hit on your free agent additions, then yes, New England's the better spot. But
that's how much more
it's easier said than done sometimes. I think Jacksonville without Balky would be a better landing spot, but with Balky, I like the Patriots better.
That's more so me just fully believing in Drake May relative.
Well, and
to
that's me believing in Trevor Lawrence also.
Yeah.
So
yeah, straight up.
I'm always a big Trevor guy. We all know this. Let's go with Gibbs. There we go. We get some Lions.
There we go. Gibby.
Some Lions exposure here.
Yeah. The only issue is these rooms aren't allowing the triple up lines at this point.
No, they're not allowing the triple up Lions, but if fingers crossed Mahomes falls to us, I'd be down to try and build out the double nutted round 1, round 4.
Yeah, we need both these guys to fade quarterback, which might be an issue.
Yeah, definitely could be an issue. I think this guy not being a badge, though, helps us, because if he doesn't know that you need to get your quarterbacks early or whatever, then he might not take one.
You got a nice little Derek.
Yeah, this guy will take a quarterback probably.
He's going Barkley and Mahomes, right?
Probably,
that's the easy smash.
So. But we can take Goff with our next pick, probably.
Yeah.
Barkley and Mahomes. Hopefully this guy doesn't take Goff. He just took Henry, so that actually, it maybe scares me a little bit. But
see, the thing is if he doesn't take Goff here, we can take a Monra and hope that Goff falls back, knowing that the other teams have top 3 quarterbacks ahead of us.
Are we going to pick before him?
He took a Monra.
He took St. Brown, but we could take JMO and hope that Goff falls back.
Yeah, or we could go James Cook.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a better idea.
Let's
do that. Let's go with James Cook.
Okay. Because if they take Goff, cool. You just throw away your top 3 pick that you got.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they stay in their lanes. But yeah, as long as we pick before that guy, which we do, we should be okay.
Yeah. The only issue is he could take JMO, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
This is my opinion of the Patriots as well. AJ, I like the cap space, like draft pick, like Jacksonville picks 1 pick behind them. Like they have just as much draft capital and like a much better infrastructure of players, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, and Brian Thomas Jr. would all be the best offensive player on New England. All 3 of them.
Yeah.
As probably would maybe be the running backs on Jacksonville.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. That's literally just me supporting Drake May relative to Trevor Lawrence and
agreed. It's a
supporting the
tall
cap space
task to rebuild the weapons core, the offensive line, the defensive line. The secondary New England's good. Second level of the defense is decent. You're rebuilding like 90% of the team though.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Now, because there's the guys with no quarterbacks after us, I think we got to go Goff.
We got to take Goff, but God, it would be nice to know if we took JMO, we would still get him.
Look at the board real quick. Look at the board.
Who did he take? Who did he end up taking?
Amonra. Yeah, we got to go with him.
He took St. Brown. So yeah, he's going to take Goff if we don't take him. But it would be nice to know that we could have gotten him. If he had if he had gone wild and gone like Puka or something, it would have been nice. We might have been able to pass on him.
Yeah. And this is the thing. It's like, I trust my ability to make moves here. And with Drake being on the rookie contract right now, with the amount of cap space that New England has, I trust myself to build a supporting roster around Drake May. First and foremost, again, the number one hit rate I feel like in free agency is signing linemen. You got to sign linemen in free agency. It always feels like if you're going to have a big free agency bust, it's typically at the skill positions. Also, God damn it, we do see both Jameson Williams and Laporta go.
Let's go Evans. They don't meet until the NFC Championship.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And then maybe Bucky. We have good running backs.
We should probably. Yeah, we don't have a line.
We got to go Amari Cooper on the way back
that we can grab here, really.
Yeah, no, them going fucking.
Laporta would have been crucial for our team for sure.
Let's see that guy's dead stack. Yeah, cool, buddy.
I mean, he's got 3 lines. It makes sense how he's building it out.
No, I'm just salty. He's gonna backdoor like annoying. Chargers or something. It's just annoying.
We could
go next.
What we could do here.
We need to build on the way back.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what we want to do here. We could go Addison as a one-off as well, hoping that when they play the Lions in round 2, you get 2 really solid performances out of Addison. Maybe you get 3 performances out of Evans, and then backdoor like the lesser Lions options as stacking partners for the Super Bowl. It's not ideal, obviously, but.
Yeah, it's just annoying that we got JMO and Laporta sniped.
Yeah, Irving's going a lot higher than he used to.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that as well.
I mean, makes sense. Like, it would if anybody would anybody be shocked if Bucky Irving had 30 points this week?
No. We could go Lad.
Like, he's going to be hard to not. He's going to be hard to advance with your pod if you don't have him.
We could go Lad next pick and then hope Amari or Keon Coleman or something falls.
You just are addicted to the Chargers, huh?
He goes anyways.
I'm like much lower on the Chargers making a run than you by the sounds of it. I'm like, yeah, they're a cute team to throw in there, but I don't like really view them that much differently than the Texans.
I don't necessarily agree. Like, that's the difference. Like, I think they are a big time favorite versus the Texans this week. I would be extremely shocked if Houston won that game.
I would be shocked if they won the game, but like, I don't know. I don't think the Chargers are some powerhouse either. So my vote here would be to go for Addison or Jones, but it's up to you.
So we're
probably Addison because we need receivers.
Yeah, we can punt Amari another pick, I think.
Yeah, let's punt Amari to the next pick if we can, and then we can still. Thankfully, Buffalo is just one of those teams you can just like. We could realistically roll with Goff Gibbs as our only 2 Lions, maybe Montgomery if he slides to us, and just roll with Bills the rest of the way.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm curious what the spread is on the Chargers game, by the way. I'm going to take a look at it. I think it's 2.5, isn't it?
Yeah.
3. Okay. So the Chargers are 3-point road favorites against Houston. Call me crazy, dude, but like that seems a little rich to me. I don't really think either of these teams are a huge juggernaut. I think the Chargers will win the game, but getting 3 points for the home team, like I kind of like Houston +3 there.
I'll take the Chargers.
Plus, the Chargers are the type of team to beat you by 1 or 2 points anyways.
I'll take the Chargers to win and cover. Portfolio.
Yeah, we want to go with Cooper here for sure.
Amadi. We need to look at quarterbacks, by the way.
Yeah, we have Mayfield out.
Yeah. Get him.
We have the Mayfield out with Evans, so that would probably be the most common sense
logical
quarterback pick. Yeah.
And we could backdoor that with a McMillan if we needed.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think it is definitely. I mean, I have a bigger mitten team that is reliant on the Buccaneers making a run to the NFC Championship against the Detroit Lions that I would love to see.
Yeah. By the way, if we get one more bill, we can play it through Detroit or Tampa Bay if we do end up doing that.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. We're like the plan is going to definitely be here that we unfortunately just got sniped on Keon Coleman, but We could play it through Kincaid. Kincaid is like, he pisses me the fuck off, man. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't even think he belongs to go this high. And then other times I'm like, yeah, but he could also very easily pay off at this price, just given the team that he plays for. So I think we got to go Kincaid, to be honest.
Yeah.
We could go with Montgomery too here.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a falling value. What do you want to do? I'll let you make the call.
I would rather go Kincaid first.
Okay.
So we go Kincaid first, 4 picks away. We could go with Montgomery, who's going to be well past ADP, or we just take Mayfield here. And
I think if we can get Montgomery to fall back, we take okay, he's not anyways, so we're good.
Okay,
I was going to say, what I was going to say is if we can get Montgomery to come back, we could potentially keep pushing the envelope on Baker, because who's the team that has Bucky? I believe he has 2 quarterbacks right now.
He has Hurts, so he's not going to be motivated.
Hurts,
but you never. Does he have a badge by any chance? Are we in the way? Yeah, we are in the way. He does not have a badge, so I wouldn't put it past this guy to take a second quarterback. I think we should take Mayfield now.
I would take.
We could take McMillan first if you want. It's up to you. We can risk it for sure, but we have absolutely no backup plan if we don't get Mayfield.
Take McMillan. I think we can risk it.
Okay. This guy is badgeless, man. I wouldn't put
He's
it
got
past
Hurts.
him to be. Okay, he went Dobbins. I know he's got Hurts, but badgeless people sometimes will just be like, "Oh, Baker Mayfield. I'll just take him."
Yeah. Okay, let's think of a pivot worst case scenario if we don't get Baker. Go quarterback.
Worst case scenario, the pivot is Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe not Bo Nix, Sutton, because they're going to play the Bills.
We could just grab.
We could go Jordan Love and Dobbs or something.
Yeah.
That would make more sense, probably. There goes Dobbs.
Both
Reed and Dobbs went.
That's a good thing for us because he has more reason to grab Jordan Love now.
Yeah. That's true.
So guy hurt.
Stafford,
Yeah, he's got Lamar.
Back him with.
Yeah, okay, we should.
We just get Mayfield here.
Yeah, if this guy takes Mayfield, he's a sand eater.
Yeah. We just got to worry about this guy. Hopefully he takes a Cup or something. I saw him take Dobbins already, so maybe I'll take QJ here.
Yeah, I saw him take Dobbins too.
QJ assuredly makes the most sense for his build.
Yeah, he's thinking about it.
Could take. Yeah, he took QJ. Okay, perfect.
Take Baker.
There you go. Baker Mayfield, come on down, and Danny was correct. It was a good push because we got the double stack now, and we have outs for a Bills Bucks and a Bills Lions then too.
Yep.
You want to push it one more time?
No, I don't think so.
No,
we should just take them out.
They both have 2 QBs.
It's not really worth it. There's no one that
we could have, but
at the board anyways.
Yeah, we could have, but like realistically, I don't even see like an obvious one-off option outside.
Tim Patrick, I guess, would be the obvious option here.
I was gonna say maybe even Joe Mixon, but just because Gibbs is on bye,
it actually makes more sense for us to take a Bill, not a Lion or a Buck here, because then we can get more for both of our Super Bowl stacks instead of just one. Because I'm totally, I don't know about you, I'm totally fine playing a Super Bowl with just Goff and Gibbs. Like I don't feel like you need a pass catcher at all.
Yeah.
So
I would say maybe Ty Johnson.
I think Hollins or Knox makes more sense. Probably Hollins because we have Kincaid. We can go Ty Johnson too. I just think we are going to be a little skinny in the Super Bowl at pass catcher because we already have Gibbs.
Yeah. Fair. I'm just thinking the only issue is if Cook doesn't have a great wild card game, this team could get cooked.
It could, yeah, you're right. It could, but if I don't know, it's possible that would help us get through. But I think I'd be willing to just hope that he does.
Fair, okay.
Let's go Hollins.
Yeah,
he's gonna walk into the AFC Championship with his bare feet and shit, and he's gonna cook. I could see Mac Hollins being a skeleton key, Juwan Jennings-esque type of play this year.
He's gonna pick its toes.
Who's the highest one-off advanced player for week 1? Bucky Irving would be my guess.
Yeah, Bucky Irving. Yeah,
like who's the one-off that you need? My guess would be it's either Bucky Irving or Puka Nacua.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Dude,
I think Evans is a good one-off. I think McLaurin's a good one-off. I think.
Well, you saw my
Collins
psycho
is a
there,
decent
right?
One-off. McConkey's a good one-off, but I think Bucky and Puka just strike me as just like nails one-off picks. And I also really like Addison as a one-off as well, but he's kind of like you can stack him up pretty easily. He's not really a one-off.
Oh, you saw my psycho pick him. The Addison 2 touchdowns, Terry McLaurin 2 touchdowns, Bucky 100+ rushing yards.
I did see your psycho pick him.
Sometimes you just make something.
You know, Danny's a psycho when he's got like 30% of his entries relying on Quentin Johnston. So
yeah, If Quentin Johnson actually goes off, that'll be hilarious.
So I heard Davis say this. I thought it was funny. Is QJ the definition of you bought him for a 3rd-round rookie pick last year, you have to sell him for a 2nd-round rookie pick now?
Yeah.
Like he's totally, I mean, for what it's worth, he has gone up in value. And given the type of prospect he was and the fact that he was going to take some time to develop, it's logical that he could continue to get better and continue to increase in value. And who knows, maybe by year 3, year 4, we're talking about a guy that's actually like a 1,000-yard receiver. But at the same time, I look at it, I'm like, I think the Chargers are probably going to add to the receiver core at some point to go along with McConkey. And that would be the thing that would maybe sink QJ's value a little bit. So if you could sell him for an early to mid 2nd off of a week 18 game where he had 14 targets, maybe a couple good playoff games as well, I think QJ makes a little bit of sense as like a sell high, because you probably A, thought he was dead if you rostered him this whole time, or B, bought him for nothing if you bought him last year.
For sure. You guys still in Buffalo? We are not, but I will be in Buffalo on Saturday night because your boy got the tickets to the Bills Broncos game. Yeah,
no, we're just drafting via Spicy Hot's account here. But yeah, appreciate you guys for joining us. We're going to close this one out on the hour mark here. My thought process, Danny, we didn't actually talk about this. You have long said you want to do like a playoff prediction. My thought is we go live an hour before the Chargers game on Saturday afternoon, and we do like a playoff bracket before kickoff. Would make some sense there. And then tomorrow I got to help my brother drywall his fucking basement. So I might be AFK for the day on that. Doesn't sound like fun. Sounds exactly how it seems. And we should be back on Saturday afternoon before the game. And then if you're going to be gone Sunday, I would imagine, right? You're going to be gone Sunday, or you're going to go Saturday night?
We're going Saturday. So we booked the hotel for Saturday night because the game's at 1, and then we're just going to leave Buffalo after the game.
Oh, shit. Okay, so you might not be available to go live before the Chargers game then, right? I mean, I guess you could go live from the hotel.
Our check-in's at 3, so if we do the live stream at noon.
Well, the game doesn't start till 4:30, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, okay. I'm gonna be in Buffalo by then.
Okay, maybe I'll put out a solo video at like noon on Saturday or something like that. Maybe, you know what actually makes the most sense? We just did a massive update to our Dynasty trade value chart. Dynasty trade targets by position, that'll be coming Saturday afternoon. That makes a lot of sense, because if you're going to be gone, then we can figure that out. But should be a ton of fun. Hopefully we get a lot of good playoff action this week. And these are, as you can see by the title of this video, our final bullets into playoff best ball drafts. If you guys do want to get some last second drafts in, the gauntlet has still has like 40% available or 30% available in it. The big mitten 2 that we just did, the $100 draft, and those summit drafts that we just did for $15. Head on over to Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code FSE when you sign up. You'll get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. You'll also get a new customer free square for the playoff pick'em games. I'll have us with some pick'em TikToks over on the TikTok channel. So if you guys are on TikTok, definitely check me out over there, and I'll do some pick'ems for that. But yeah, should be a ton of fun. Danny, anything else to add?
Yeah. So this is row 28. So we got this section row 22 in terms of seats.
Oh, there you go. You got some nice seats there. You're probably going to freeze your fucking nuts off, but
it's fine though for $242 each. Like that's pretty good value, I think.
Yeah. Well, so I told you, Dylan asked me, he's like, "Hey, do you want to go to the Bills game on Sunday?" And I was like, kind of, but like not really, because the Bucks play on Sunday night, and the game is going to be fucking freezing cold. And if I'm going to save my time and money to go to a game this playoff cycle, it will be if the Bucks get to the NFC Championship against Detroit. I would rather travel to Detroit to do that, because it's an indoor game and it's just as close as Buffalo, and it's just a better game, and it's my team instead of the Bills.
That's a good point.
But I also fly to fucking Montreal later that day, so it would be a hell of a day if I did that. Like if the Bucks and Lions played each other in the NFC Championship and it was the 6:30 p.m. game, not the 3 o'clock game, because you know how in the AFC NFC Championship they'll go like 3 p.m. and then 6:30 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to watch it because I fly out to Montreal at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock on Sunday night, the 27th there. So I mean, that will suck. But if it's the 3 o'clock game, I might try and make it work, to be honest.
Fair enough.
But anyways, appreciate you guys for joining us. Peace out, and we'll talk to you soon.